everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Sarah with Mayhem Crafty Cards, and today is our monthly collab. That's with Michelle from Scrap Secrets and Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations. This month's theme is HoneyBee stamps and summertime. So I pulled out my peony lovely layers from HoneyBee and also the new butterflies from HoneyBee. Anytime I think of summertime, I think of butterflies. And I just didn't want to do just plain butterflies. So I went ahead and cut everything out so far because there's a lot of die cutting when it comes to the lovely layers. And I'm also using their Mod A2 cover plate. I really like this one. I use this one quite a bit. So I've already got my flowers cut out. I'm going to need to glue them together. I'm going to be using the Lakefront ink from Concord and Ninth. It's one of their new color releases to color in my butterflies. So I had two that I had die cut, and there is a sheet that tells you kind of how to layer each of the butterflies. So I'm just going to take the Lakefront, and because this is a foam pad, I will just tap my brush in, and then I'm going to start to the side because this is obviously a really bright color. And I'm just going to go over my butterfly wings. And I'm not worried about getting it on its little body, just because I'm going to go over that with one of my really dark gray markers. So I'm doing them both in this color. And I'm also going to be adding some vellum over top of their wings. I made a card like this for my mother-in-law for Mother's Day. And I really like how the vellum came out over top of the wings. And like I said, I'm not worried about being splotchy or anything like that, just to get some color on there. And this Lakefront is a really pretty color. So to do these, which is why I didn't assemble them just yet as well, I'm going to take one apart at a time. Because if you do too many, then you kind of lose track of what parts go where. And I always lose these teeny tiny little pieces. So I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see what I'm doing here. So for this butterfly, you're going to take the top wings, the shorter or the longer, skinnier wings, and you're going to just glue that right over top. There's like these little notches in here. So you're just going to take it and lay it down over top. And I still have been really enjoying the little glue press from Misty. It really has been very helpful to me. So I'm just going to lay this guy over top. And you can make them go as far down as you want. I just tend to do it this way because I still like to have a little bit of the background. And I'm just taking one of my darkest markers. And I'm going to go ahead and go over the body of the butterfly. Just because most butterflies have like that darker body to it. And I didn't want to use black, so I just grabbed my one of my darker markers, gray markers. So yeah, every month we do a collab. This month is really fun because, you know, who doesn't want summer to be here sooner than what it is in most places? Like right now, it's like maybe 60 degrees, but just the other day here in Ohio, it was 85. So it's the weather here is it's so hit and miss. So I'm going to do the same with that other little butterfly. Color his body and that really dark gray. And you don't want to forget these little pieces that kind of connect. And I'm going to be using my reverse tweezers as well, just because it's really hard for me to grip these little pieces. But I'm going to do the exact same thing. And I'm going to just place my glue. Actually, just kidding. I need to cut my vellum. So I'm going to cut my vellum and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I cut the wings out of vellum and I used the pink pastel from Lawn Fawn. I know I did it blue, but I still want the details and stuff to show through. So how to hide your acetate with this is to just glue onto those little areas that you put together. So the little marks here where you can see where they go together. That's where I'm going to add my glue for my acetate, or for my vellum, because if you put glue on vellum, like, you're really going to see it. So I like to do it this way. And then also the body of the butterfly is going to cover these spots as well. So you're not going to have glue on the wings of the butterfly, just on those little notch pieces. And it still gives you the same detail, which I really enjoy, having the details of this one. So after I do that, now I'm going to grab my reverse tweezers and do the body. So let me zoom you guys back out a little bit. Sorry about that. And I love my reverse tweezers for these small little pieces. So yeah, we will be using stamp dies for this hop for HoneyBee, or hop for our monthly collab with, and we're using HoneyBee products. So this one I'm just going to go ahead and do that little dot of glue. I really enjoy the lovely layers. I thought, if I'm being totally honest, that these butterflies are going to be a lot bigger, but it's totally fine with me how they came out. So here is that first butterfly. If I can get my camera to focus, there we go. My camera to focus. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the second butterfly together. So again, we have these two pieces that have the little notches on them. And of course, the little body. So I'm going to go ahead and glue, using liquid glue. There we go. Just these little areas to adhere my vellum. Because like I said, once you get glue on your vellum, like it kind of warps it a little bit. So you don't want to add glue to the wings. So I'm going to do the same here. And that kind of just, you know, hides those little glue spots. So now I can glue this guy together. And it's nice because at first, when I first got these, I'm like, I cannot figure out how to line them up. And then they do have a little downloadable guide on HoneyBee's website. So I'm going to get this little guy out. And I was able to follow it then. I mean, there's not very many videos on them yet, so it was, the guide really helped. So I got my glue down. This little guy here is teeny tiny. So yeah, peonies, any kind of flowers, butterflies especially, they all remind me of summer. So I thought this would be a really good set to use. So now that my butterflies are together, I'm going to set them to the side and start working on my peony. So what's nice about these is they line up so easily. Like you can see, they just kind of nestle right into each other. And you're going to get all that dimension with all these layers. Now, every once in a while, I will add foam tape just to give it the extra little pop. But since I use the vellum on my butterflies, and I am going to pop them up on my base, I'm not going to add any foam tape to these peonies. And I just grabbed 5 different shades of pink that I had in my stash. A little bit of Concordia 9. I know Spellbinders. I believe some Brutus Monroe as well. So as you can see, they are super easy to line up. I love this because I don't have to keep, you know, once I squeeze the handle, the glue just keeps coming out. So I don't have to like constantly press the handle to get the glue out. So yeah, make sure I will have Marie and Michelle's channels linked in my description box, along with these items. I know I've been forgetting to do that lately, and I apologize, but I've just had a lot going on. So stay tuned though, because I have a giveaway that I'm getting ready to post. I may have already posted it by the time this video is released. We are doing this on May 25th, I believe. So yeah, I'm working on a pretty decent sized giveaway. It's going to be really easy to enter. So just kind of keep an eye out for that if I haven't posted it before this video goes live. So as you can see, they just layer up so easily and so nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and finish getting this together, and then I will be back. So I have my butterflies put together. I have my flower put together. And as you can see, there's a lot of dimension with these lovely layers. So I kind of laid out how I want them to go. I'm not really sure about a sentiment yet, so I'm just going to leave this sentiment off until I'm done. So I'm going to grab my foam squares, and I'm going to add them to the butterflies. And like I said, I'm only adding to the butterflies. I'm not adding them to anything else because there's already a lot of dimension to this card. So I'm only adding them to the wings, just the top and the one top and one bottom, because I wanted them to kind of be stand out just a little bit more. So again, one to the top and one to the bottom, and this one's a little trickier, so I think I need to move this guy because the one wing is very thin. So I'm going to add these guys, and like I said, I haven't glued this guy down yet. But make sure you guys check out the other videos from Marie and Michelle. I really love this cover plate. This is like one of my favorites. I can't wait to see what they make. We don't even know what each other's made until we post the videos. So I love it doing it that way because it's always a surprise. So I'm going to glue this guy down, and that will be it for my card today. So make sure you guys stay tuned for the giveaway. It's pretty big. Everything's new, so this will be a good bit of product. And I just finished the Pink Fresh event that I can't wait to share with you guys. I did the classes were so nice. So I'm just going to add this guy down here, and that is it until I figure out a sentiment for this summer themed card from HoneyBee Stamps. So until next time, guys, have a great day.